Diaspora community has remained largely an untapped area for the national government. While this has all been set to change, the President Uhuru Kenyatta launched last year, 2014, the Diaspora Policy and the Kenyan Foreign Policy. These two documents are set to change the face of the participation of the diaspora community in national development. Today in studio with me is Mr. Robinson Gichuhi, Chairman of the Diaspora Movement of Kenya. We'll be exploring these emerging fronts. I'm your host, Linda Kroeger. This is Point of View. Welcome back to Point of View. Now with me, as I introduced, is Mr. Robinson Gichuhi, Chairman of the Diaspora Movement of Kenya. Welcome. Now, you were sharing with me that you're also a member of a number of other diaspora organizations. Maybe share with us a little bit.
Yes, you see, Linda, thank you, by the way, for having me today.
Yes.
I appreciate the time, the opportunity to give Kenyans a chance to learn more about the diaspora. Mm-hmm. Kenyans abroad go abroad, especially the United States, which is where I live. They go abroad and they find that they need to cooperate on several fronts, not just politics or any other matters, but things that affect them, especially welfare. As you know, there's about 3 million Kenyans living abroad.
Okay.
But probably about maybe 1 million of those are the only ones that actually actively engage in civil, political, and other matters, affecting their general community. So I found myself, being involved in the Kenya Welfare Association in the Midwest primarily, because I used to live in St. Louis, Missouri. Okay. There's the Kenya Diaspora Foundation, of which I'm president now. There's other smaller ones. And then, of course, there's the big one, the Kenya Diaspora Alliance, of which I'm actually co-convener. So I wear many hats. And I'd just like to say that out there, you have to really wear many hats to be able to actively engage in diaspora affairs and feel part of that community. So it's very powerful, and it keeps me, well-grounded.
That's very true. Now, largely and over the past couple of years, we haven't had a lot of involvement of the Kenyan diaspora, regardless of where they're from, abroad, being part of national development issues. Why has this been the issue?
Linda, that has been a bone of contention for decades.
Okay.
This government and previous governments have, for lack of a better terminology, voluntarily really ignored Kenyans living abroad, despite the fact that they contribute billions of shillings into this economy. For example, the 2013 statistics show that we contributed about 113 billion, not million, billion shillings into this economy. They say it's 3% of the gross domestic product. We believe it's about 12%.
That's a large margin.
It's a large margin. We've surpassed tourism as part of the contributor of income into Kenya. But to answer your question as to why, it's a lack of structural engagement.
Okay.
To a good extent, I even have to blame, the Kenyans abroad themselves, because for a long time we were not organized. For a long time, it was, infighting, power plays, power struggles, disorganization, mistrust. Okay. The same mistrust that you find in Kenya among, various ethnic groups is also there. So it's taken, I would say, a good 20 years to get where we have some kind of global organization, the Kenya Diaspora Alliance, but there's still some opposition to that. This is just like here.
Yeah.
There's a government in power, but there are still those that are opposing those in power for whatever reason. Politics as usual. So politics never lacks. Even in the house, it's always there.
All right. Okay, so that's why it's been a lot of infighting and a lot of disagreement.
But that's been taken care of. So now there's more engagement among the diaspora organizations, and now we've actually become part of we were a part of the Kenya Diaspora Policy that is just now completed.
Exactly. We had it launched in 2014.
Yes.
Both the Kenyan Foreign Policy and the Kenya Diaspora Policy.
Yes.
What is the impact of having, the government actively launching these two set of documents?
Oh man, Linda, that's phenomenal. You know, for a long time after fighting for this kind of policies, we felt that this was the culmination that we've been looking for. Because if the government had not done this as of today, there would be, you know, a lot of resentment for government officials. You know, we really felt that we were locked out of mainstream Kenya, despite the remittances, despite the ideas. And of course, don't forget the amount of talent that we have. You know, that brain drain that has been slowly seeping out of Kenya and East Africa. So those two policies have shown that the government is now willing to engage Kenyans abroad in a serious manner.
All right, wonderful. And maybe I'll ask you, having the experience of and interacting a lot with Kenyans living abroad with these diaspora organizations, why don't we have that sort of unity? We feel like the Kenyans in diaspora are not part of the Kenyans in the homeland. There's no sense of owning your Kenyanship per se.
The reason that Kenyans, both sides, the Kenyans and diaspora sometimes feel that there's, you know, they don't feel that way, is because up until today, and maybe a few other organizations, there has not been an official public medium. And that's why I really appreciate you inviting me today, Linda, to this television station. There has not been a medium, really. I'm also involved in a little bit of radio. And I saw the impact of bringing Kenyans together just for them to hear each other and speak out and vent. So now, when we move to the TV platform, it creates another type of physical engagement. Now they can see people like me, they can see people like you that are resident here, that are interested in diaspora affairs. So, you know, politicking and all that is not enough. They have lacked that, you know, medium or media to be able to see each other, listen to each other, but it's happening now with the help of people like you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you.
You're most welcome, Robinson. And how can we get everybody actively involved, especially here in the homeland, in creating this unifying factor?
More meetings, more, of course, productive meetings. They recently concluded Diaspora, Kenya Diaspora Easter Investment Conference. I don't know, are you able to see that? Can you see it? Got it? You got it? You see that? This recently concluded conference is an epitome of what we need more of. The Kenya Diaspora Alliance was involved, and it just goes to show that with this kind of engagement, then that will be part of the solution. More engagement, more, especially consultative engagement.
Indeed.
More communication and honesty. Past governments have kind of played with the diaspora. They've not been honest about their intentions. For example, in 2013, I'm going to say 2013, Kenyans abroad were supposed to vote. Last minute they said, oh, we can only manage Kenya. Well, no. Well, Kenya, of course. Burundi, Rwanda, South Sudan, and Uganda.
The areas around the country.
Yes, within the East Africa region. So the Kenyans who comprise the majority of Kenyans abroad are in the US and the UK. They were like, what's this? What's this?
Last minute.
Kick in the butt. Sorry, can I use that language?
Oh,
I guess I can. It's not too bad, is it?
No.
But they felt betrayed. So if the second point is this government has got to be serious. We are not just going to be contributing money into this economy. We want to be actively involved socially, politically, and economically. Or else, I want to say what else beyond that.
Everybody get their feeling there. So who were the conveners of this conference? Who took this in a positive initiative, to get the ball rolling and get everybody involved?
I'll say, apart from the Kenya Diaspora Alliance pushing it, the Minister of Foreign Affairs was primary in this one.
They played an active role?
They played the active role from A to Z, from funding to coordination. But they were helped by all these other organizations. And they did a fantastic job. I was there at Windsor for for 3 days, March 31st all the way to 2nd of April 2015. And it brought together all the stakeholders and private companies that recognize the diaspora as people of importance. So it was very successful.
All right, wonderful. Maybe share with us, what were some of the points of agreement that were reached during the conference?
One of the highlights is that there's that structural engagement with the diaspora.
Yeah.
Number one, from a business point of view. Banks were there, Cooperative Bank, CFC and Stanley Group, Kenya Commercial Bank, Family Bank, Equity Bank. So from a business standpoint, there was that agreement that we must engage not just the banks, but there was at least, I believe, 25 or so other groups, real estate, consulting companies. And one of the agreements was that let's continue to have more of these engage in this kind of forum with the Kenyans from abroad. Secondly is that these events must happen on a timely basis, meaning once every so often.
Yeah.
The president who was there actually agreed that probably at least once every 2 years. They usually have a governor's conference somewhere. Ambassadors, ambassadors conference. And they would like to schedule this diaspora conference right after that. Now this one is controlled by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There may be others organized by the diaspora themselves,
okay,
to which they'll invite them.
Right.
So that was one of the points of agreement. The second one was political engagement, that there must be participation from Kenyans abroad. Sometimes they might make a lot of noise about politics, but not really actively be involved.
Get involved,
yeah. So even if it was not very official, it was obvious that Kenyans must involve themselves politically somehow, writing papers, elections, helping with the new portal that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has suggested to have a database. And thirdly, a plethora of agreements on many fronts, just to make sure that even civilly and otherwise Kenyans are involved. One point is that these consular stations abroad must be more active with the Kenyans. For example, in Saudi Arabia, and the Middle East, there's a problem of employees there being mistreated. You've heard of these Kenyans who go there.
Yeah, we've been having them in the news every now and then,
constantly beaten and thrown into the pool and passports taken. And there's been some reaction by the government on that. They've stopped that engagement. They have actually summoned some of those embassies. So there's that push to improve this kind of things that we need
to improve our consulars and embassies and their relations.
To protect us.
Indeed.
That's their job.
But the mere fact that you're out of Kenya doesn't mean you're not Kenyan anymore.
Exactly.
That's very true. And we'll explore this a little bit more as we head into our second segment. We're taking a short break. Keep it point of view.